Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and today, obviously, we're going to talk about matte boxes. So the one here to my right is a $20 Neewer Matte Box, which I picked up on Amazon a couple of years ago when I had my first real commercial shoot. I had taken a look at my footage for the day and realized that the contrast was really, really low, and of course immediately recognized that even though I had a nice long lens hood on, I needed more. So 20 bucks later, I've got it, and it did the business. Now it doesn't come with donuts, so I got a 59-cent, it's called a scrunchie. It's a hair thingy, and it fit really nicely around the lens. I didn't need to hold it in place because it's a scrunchie, and it did the business. Now, with that said, there are pretty wide gaps. Let's see if the autofocus does this. Pretty wide gaps around the flags. And I actually had to take a garbage bag, a hefty trash bag, and fold it up and tape it around because there was one shot where I was shooting through the rear window of a 1954 GMC pickup truck, and the reflections were terrible until I did that. Fact of the matter is, though, I would have had reflections with this guy. Actually, I'm saying the fact of the matter is, I'm not actually sure that that's true. Because on my left is this Sachtler Ace Matte Box. Now, it's an eval unit. The guys at Vitec, the parent company for Sachtler, were great in making these available. And you can see that although they're designed to do approximately the same thing, their performance is actually quite different. Light leaks coming in, much less likely an issue with the Sachtler. Scrunchie over here, the Sachtler comes with two different sized, nice thick rubber donuts, and the larger of the two fits perfectly. Let's see if the autofocus works there. But yeah, it just fits beautifully. It's really nice. There's this tightening knob so that it's a pressure fit, stays in place, but you can loosen it up. And so that's really terrific. And at the end of the day, you're looking at a couple of different parameters for distinguishing or discerning the differences between these two products. The good news is you kind of get what you pay for. And depending on what your budget is and your needs are, you can be happy with either one. I was really happy with this a couple of years ago. It did the business, and I felt professional. On the other hand, it makes no pretense at being other than what it is. It therefore does not have a locking lever for any of the flags, and over time this gets loose, so that becomes a bit of a problem. And most importantly, there are no filter holders. Now, who do you think does the best job of using gradient neutral density filters on TV? I vote for Top Gear. These guys, I think it's just great. So anyway, the Sachtler does have precisely that. A pair, let's see if this autofocus works, of filter holders. They take both 4x4 and 4x565. You get a pair of each that comes with it. And one of the filter holders rotates, which is lovely. However, again, let's see if this does the business. It rotates something less than 45 degrees. And in point of fact, that's not good enough. Not if you're serious about using filters, not if you're serious about using gradient filters. Because if you've got either 4x4 or 4x5.65, well, in this case, it just wouldn't work. But it doesn't work anyway, even 4x4, because you can't put this back in rotated 90 degrees by yourself. So that's really kind of interesting and a little bit surprising about the Sachtler, because I've come to expect an extraordinary attention to detail, and detail which seems to be engineered by people who actually use their stuff. So I'm a little bit surprised by that, but okay. Look, you want to get a matte box that does it all, that rotates 360 degrees with multiple filter holders, and you want all metal construction? The plastic flags and the plastic of the matte box itself, much higher quality than the Neewer, no big deal, but still, you want metal? Well, you can go and you can spend $5 grand if you want to on a Croziel, and if you're a certain kind of filmmaker, you should. It makes sense. But what I would say is that the Sachtler is a terrific design and terrific for cameras like the Sony a6300, the A7 S2 R2, Canon 5D Mark III, Pani GH4. But, and in fact, it goes beautifully with something like a Sony FS5, even a Sony FS7, Canon C300 Mark II, 100, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing that I've learned over the past few weeks as I've begun to use these things. You really have to try this stuff out with your particular gear, because none of them, not the Zacuto stuff, which is amazing, not the cheap little Neewer stuff, but don't write it off because it works again at the price point if you want it to, nor Sachtler, which again I just think is terrific as far as design and build quality is concerned. Well, they don't work with everything. What's interesting about the little Neewer is that, again, for 20 bucks, you get adjustable height, not easy adjustable height, but you get adjustable height. In fact, let me loosen this a little bit more so I can show it better. Yeah, an adjustable height matte box. And you know, I'm not going to get upset that it's flimsy. Not when it costs 20 bucks and my camera only cost 400. But on the other hand, this really beautiful Sachtler doesn't have any height adjustment on the matte box itself. Now, clearly these guys designed it to work with the Ace base plate. And I love this Ace base plate. It goes up and down, beautiful, fits just beautifully. But what I learned the other day, because Sony has been fantastic, they've let me hang on to this FS5. I'm just about finished with everything except RAW. I have the RAW upgrade, and yesterday Convergent Design delivered their Odyssey 7Q Plus, so that's next in the queue, pun intended. But even with that design, I couldn't get the Sony FS5 and the Rokinon centered in this matte box. It actually needs a height adjustable element on the box itself. Now, on the other hand, as soon as you do that, you're compromising the robustness and futziness, I'll call it, of the matte box. So you may not want to do that. But of course, it's with all of them. That's the big news. I had the same issue, differently manifested, with the Zacuto VCT universal base plate and universal tripod plate. Incredible. I'll cover that separately in another review. But again, my point is, it doesn't matter what someone like me says as far as how much they like this stuff or not. You really have to use it with your own gear. And if you haven't tried it with your own gear before you buy it, better make sure that wherever you go to get your stuff, they've got a liberal return policy. So that's kind of it. We get so excited about cameras and lenses, and we try to find that optimal point on the price, performance, and value curves, that intersection, because it's fun. We want to get stuff that really is enjoyable to use, that really does the business, but we also want to be economical about it because we know, especially in video, there's more stuff to buy. So there you have it. For Three Blind Men and an Elephant, I'm Hugh Brownstone. See you next time. If you like what you've seen here, please subscribe. Go over to the blog. You'll see a more detailed review in there, in writing, and subscribe there. Like, and yeah, that's kind of it. See you soon.